Chosen ones, pay attention. People keep whispering about you because they sense you carry more knowledge than you ever say out loud. Right now, in this exact second, someone is discussing you behind closed doors. Not because you asked for attention, but because your silence speaks louder than their noise ever could. They gather in their little circles, trying to decode what makes you different, trying to understand why your presence shifts the entire atmosphere of a room. Truth doesn't hide, it waits, and the instant your feet cross a threshold, even the shadows pause. They know you know. They know you've been watching their games unfold while they thought you were oblivious, and that recognition is eating them alive from the inside out. This world was never set up to celebrate spirits like yours. It was designed to hush you, twist your thoughts and make you doubt the current racing through your veins. But here's the twist. You are not the problem. They are. Your very presence drags into daylight everything they tried to bury. Your quiet speaks volumes, spelling out facts they prayed nobody would learn. Every time you show up, it feels to them like staring into a mirror that shows more than their face. It exposes the parts they faked, the lies they sold, the masks they wore, the games they played. They call you intense, serious, or too silent. Yet what they really mean is you spot falsehood before it leaves their tongue. You decipher energy as if it were printed in clear ink. You unsettle them just by existing, because when the universe picks someone, it stamps them with a frequency others can feel but can't define. And you wear that emblem without even noticing. They can't explain it, but they know you're not cut from their cloth. That thought alone keeps them up at night, tossing and turning, wondering what you see when you look at them. Before we go deeper into this revelation, understand something crucial. You never asked for this assignment. You were engineered for it. The universe didn't toss a coin and land on you by chance. It scanned your essence long before this lifetime and recognized you could carry weight that would crush most people. That's the core of their fear. You remind them that raw power doesn't need to scream, it simply exists. And you embody it so completely that your mere presence rewrites the rules of every space you enter. Count the times you've watched them attempt to hide things from you and fail. Recall the lies you nodded through while they tensed, because your eyes don't blink the way theirs do. They believed they were fooling you, but all the while they were undressing themselves before your awareness. You always felt the gossip swirling behind your back, sensed the energy bend before a single word formed, heard the betrayal inside their whispers that shakes them to their core, because now they know you knew from the start. You knew when they smiled to your face and schemed behind your back. You knew when they pretended to support you while sabotaging your progress. You knew it all. You aren't paranoid, you're perceptive. You aren't dramatic, you're finely tuned. They can't stand that your insight almost never misses its mark. You don't just read a room, you read the spaces between worlds. You pick up frequencies in the silence between heartbeats. You decode their real thoughts before they filter them into acceptable words. And they're starting to realize this isn't something you learned. This is something you are, something you were born with, something that terrifies them because it means they've never had a secret around you. Here's what they'll never confess out loud. You already altered the game board simply by showing up to play. Your awareness is dangerous to them, not because you chase payback, but because you don't need to. Universal balance handles that part. They weren't wrestling you, they were wrestling the cosmic order working through you, a battle they could never hope to win. And now the consequences of their actions are catching up, not because you lifted a finger, but because you lifted your frequency above their reach. The panic you see flickering in their eyes isn't new. It's been building since the moment they realized your silence wasn't ignorance. It was strategy. While they exhausted themselves with small games and petty moves, you were downloading intelligence from dimensions they don't believe exist. You were receiving transmissions in your dreams, getting updates through synchronicities, reading messages in patterns they're too distracted to notice. Every number sequence you kept seeing, every animal that crossed your path at perfect moments, Every song that played with lyrics speaking directly to your situation. None of it was random. It was communication from forces they can't access. Remember that night when you sat alone, feeling the weight of all you knew but couldn't speak? That wasn't isolation. That was activation. Every moment of solitude was upgrading your operating system, installing new software for perception, calibrating your awareness to frequencies they can't access. You thought you were being punished with loneliness. You were being prepared for revelation. The universe needed you away from their noise to download what's coming. And what's coming is bigger than they can imagine. Think back to all those moments when you felt crazy for seeing what others couldn't. When you questioned your sanity because you could feel the lies beneath their smiles. When you wondered if maybe you were the problem because everyone else seemed fine with the deception. Those weren't moments of weakness. They were moments of calibration. Your system was learning to distinguish between what's real and what's performance, and now you can't unsee the difference. So to you, the one who sometimes sits alone and wonders if this light inside is too much, stop insulting your glow by pretending it's dim. Don't squeeze yourself into boxes you were sent here to dismantle. Chosen ones don't blend. They tilt the entire atmosphere. Stop doubting your flames just because they blind someone else's eyes. You were never supposed to mix in. You're here to rearrange reality itself, to shift timelines, to collapse old structures simply by refusing to participate in them. Your power works in silence, which is why they fear your quiet more than any noise you could make. Long after you've left a room, your energy lingers like truth that can't be swept away. Your hush booms louder than their conversations ever could. You don't haunt them like folklore. You linger like an undeniable memory, a piece of reality they can't delete from their consciousness. You remind them of everything they aren't and everything they're terrified you'll become. And rise you will, because the universe has been setting this up longer than you realize. Every betrayal you experienced was removing someone who couldn't handle your destination. Every loss was making room for what's coming. Every moment of confusion was just the old programming being overwritten by cosmic intelligence. You weren't falling apart. You were being reassembled at a higher frequency. The old you had to die for this version to be born. And this version is unstoppable. The whispers about you have different tones now. Before they were dismissive, mocking, underestimating. Now they carry fear, respect, and recognition. They're starting to piece together what you are, even if they can't name it. They're beginning to understand that every time they tried to dim your light, they were actually proving its power. Every attempt to break you only revealed that you're unbreakable. Every effort to exclude you only demonstrated that you exist beyond their containers. Drop 77 in the comments if you've ever known something you shouldn't, stayed silent, and watched events play out exactly as you sensed. That's more than intuition. That's revelation. That's confirmation that you're operating with technology they don't have access to. Stick around because we're about to strip away the covers they hoped would never move. And if you truly carry the mark, your spirit won't let you click away. They tried to play you like a pawn, forgetting you could see the entire board from dimensions they didn't know existed. They laughed when they thought you were clueless, but watch what happened when the cosmic joke revealed itself. Panic set in when they grasped you were aware the entire time. That sudden glaze in their eyes, that stiff shuffle when you speak, that's recognition blooming. It dawns on them that your silence wasn't absence of knowledge. It was wisdom sharpening itself while they tunneled deep into their schemes behind locked doors. You studied their patterns like a scientist studying specimens, connected signals they thought were hidden, listened to words that never crossed lips but echoed in energy fields. They assumed you were naive, easy to steer, someone to laugh at while twisting blades behind your back. But chosen ones don't flinch. You recorded everything, endured their games, and the universe didn't just give you vision. It trained you in patience, divine timing, and flawless execution. The beauty of your position is that you never had to keep score. The universe was keeping it for you. Every wrong done to you was logged in cosmic records. Every lie told about you was documented in the Akashic. Every betrayal was noted by forces that never forget. And now the books are being balanced, not by your hand, but by hands that move planets and shift destinies. You never reacted because reaction would have been premature. You monitored as they assembled their traps brick by dishonest brick, and now they're scrambling because you observed it all without showing your hand. They're whispering new warnings to each other. Be careful around that one. They're different. Translation: they finally understand you refuse to fit into their predictable patterns. You don't follow their scripts. You're writing your own with ink they can't see on pages they can't read. Your timing alone terrifies them. The way you exit just before the crash, arrive moments before opportunity knocks, show up in rooms where others pray to be. You're not guessing, you're knowing. And nothing twists their guts more than realizing the universe seems to stand behind you in ways it never did for them. They want to call it luck, but luck doesn't have this kind of precision. Luck doesn't orchestrate this many perfect synchronicities. Luck doesn't protect you from threats you didn't even know existed. Let's slice through the sugarcoating. They weren't merely messing with you. They were challenging the laws of alignment itself. They gambled against divine timing, trying to outsmart someone holding blueprints from higher dimensions. You don't just walk in light, you are the signal. When chosen ones move, reality bends around them. Doors open that shouldn't exist. Paths appear where there were walls. Resources manifest from nowhere. Allies emerge from unexpected places. Start remembering that truth. Stop acting like a stranger in your own story. Stop shrinking, doubting, overthinking. You're not exaggerating what you perceive. You're seeing through veils built to keep most eyes shut. That's not paranoia. That's crystal clear sight. That's divine vision operating through human eyes. Every time you second guess your knowing, you're insulting the intelligence that chose you for this mission. If this message hits your spirit, hype this video so more chosen ones like you can find it, because they're out there, feeling the same pressure, carrying the same knowing, wondering if they're alone in this cosmic game. Ever notice how people act nervous around you? They fumble with words, avoid your gaze, become defensive at simple questions. Your energy works like truth serum without you trying. It pulls masks right off faces. They can't pretend near you, and that rocks them to their foundation. Your authenticity pokes holes in their carefully constructed personas, and authenticity terrifies those living in illusion. It's like being a flame in a room full of paper people. They know getting too close to your truth will ignite their lies. So when they step back, whisper your name, or stare with caution, that's confirmation the power is alive and active. Never belittle your journey by playing small. Don't dim your glow to soothe those camping in darkness. They were never meant to fully grasp you. They were meant to respect what they can't control. And that's you. You've turned into something unplayable by their rules, something that operates outside their algorithms, something that can't be predicted, manipulated, or contained. Your victories aren't strokes of luck. They're perfect calibration, centuries of ancestral momentum pumping through your heart, silent universal blessings steering every footstep. You're ahead because you were designated to be. The universe doesn't make mistakes with its chosen ones. Every ability you have, every insight you possess, every knowing that arrives without explanation was deliberately placed in you for this exact moment in history. Think about the patterns you've noticed. How certain people appeared in your life at perfect moments, delivered exactly what you needed, then disappeared. How certain books fell off shelves into your hands. How certain conversations happened with strangers who spoke directly to your situation without knowing it. These weren't coincidences. These were coordinated deliveries from a universe that's been preparing you for something massive. The next time tension spikes as you enter a room, smile internally. That's your presence rewriting the atmosphere. And when someone asks, "How did you know?" let the silence answer, "It always has." This is the cost of deeper knowing. They attempted to trap you, but ended up exposing themselves. You served as the mirror they couldn't avoid, and now their panic verifies what you've suspected all along. You were always 10 moves ahead, operating from intelligence they don't have access to. They labeled it luck until the pattern repeated beyond coincidence. Luck is the word people use when your alignment disrupts their illusion of control. They chuckled, muttering, "They just got lucky, it won't last," hoping you were a glitch in their matrix. But how many precise exits, flawless arrivals, impossible saves, and razor-sharp instincts does it take before they accept the truth? This isn't random. It's you operating at full capacity. You walked in and cracked the code they trusted. They bet on chaos. You operated on cosmic order. Then fear crept into their whispers. Side glances multiplied. Hushed conversations intensified. You felt the swell of suspicion, envy, and dread radiating from them. They sensed you had tapped into a power source they could neither locate nor copy, a force granting you advantages beyond their comprehension. While they tried steering outcomes with manipulation and lies, you moved like you'd already read the final chapter. You had. The universe has been dropping hints at your feet since day one. They fear not what you've done, but what you might unleash if you stop holding back. This is you on quiet mode. Imagine what happens when you operate at full volume. The thought keeps them awake at night, staring at ceilings, wondering what you're capable of when you stop restraining yourself. You're not stumbling into fortune. You sense it forming and walk toward it. You're not dodging danger. You move in rhythms where danger can't find you. You don't need their permission, applause, or validation. You run on cosmic credit that never depletes. They keep asking how. The sharper question is why them and not you? The answer is simple. They don't listen. They don't feel. They miss signs unless they're screaming. You pick up whispers in the quantum field. Remember all those times you felt something was off but couldn't explain it? When your body told you to leave but your mind said stay? When your gut screamed danger but everything looked safe? Those weren't false alarms. Those were your advanced warning systems activating, and every time you listened, you avoided disasters they walked straight into. Every time you trusted that feeling, you sidestepped traps they fell into. This is the technology you're working with. Let them keep wondering. Let them keep talking. Their confusion is confirmation that you're operating correctly. Focus on this truth. Your intuition isn't something you have, it's something you are. That push to step back before a collapse, that urge to pivot without logical reason, that dream that warned you. None of these are coincidences. They're your guidance system working perfectly. They're your cosmic GPS navigating you through dimensions others don't know exist. You're tuned to frequencies most people deny exist, not psychic, connected. They believe the deck is stacked against them, and it is, but not by random forces. They stacked it themselves with every lie told, every betrayal committed, every moment they chose deception over truth. The real frame, the cosmic grid, protects chosen ones. Now walls close, not around you, but around them. They're pressed by the weight of their own actions, returning like boomerangs they forgot they threw. You've known who tried to sabotage your path before they acted on the thought, who attempted to dim your light before they reached for the switch. You sensed their moves forming in the field before they materialized in the physical, watched them plot in circles, believing they were architects of your downfall, yet you never needed to push back. The universe was already 10 steps ahead, arranging their self-destruction through their own choices. Their battle was never with you. It was with forces ancient and relentless that protect those carrying divine missions. You aren't an accident. You are the blueprint they ignored until too late. Now they grasp. They should have never underestimated a soul riding on cosmic winds, receiving nightly downloads, getting warnings in the quiet, surrounded by shields from threats that never even reached you. You are the silent storm, the watcher, the one who knows. So stop asking why this is happening. Stop shrinking from your purpose. Being chosen is not a burden. It's your destiny. An invitation to walk with laser focus and divine precision. Your power doesn't seek consent to exist. It simply waits for you to stop denying it. They tried to file it under coincidence, reduce divine timing to chance. Now they analyze your every move like archaeologists studying an ancient text written in a language they can't decode. But here's what's changing. The downloads are getting stronger, the veil is getting thinner. Your ability to see through their games is becoming undeniable, even to you. Those moments of doubt are evaporating. The apologetic energy is dissolving. You're starting to own what you've always been. And they feel this shift like an earthquake in dimensions they can't see. They sense the power rising in you like a tide that's been pulled back, gathering force for a tsunami they're not prepared for. Your love for humanity didn't die despite their betrayals. It transformed into something more powerful, discernment. You learned to love from a distance, to bless from behind boundaries, to wish them well while walking away. This isn't coldness, it's wisdom. You can't save those committed to drowning, but you can refuse to be pulled under with them. You can't force someone to see truth, but you can stop participating in their illusions. The conversations about you have reached a critical mass. What started as whispers became discussions. What began as discussions became obsessions. They can't figure out how you know things before they happen. How you appear and disappear with perfect timing, how you remain stable while everything around you shifts. They want your secret, not understanding that you are the secret. You're not holding something back. You are something they can't access. You weren't brought here just to observe. You arrived to shift the entire game. Chosen ones are not on this planet to barely survive or keep false peace. They're here to expose every crack in the foundation, every lie in the system, every shadow pretending to be light. The clearer your vision grows, the heavier the mission becomes, because that pull in your chest is a daily reminder that this is spiritual warfare played out in human form. The universe never tapped you simply to watch from the sidelines. It marked you to move, to speak when silence enables destruction, to stand when others kneel to deception. The old world is dying, and you're the frequency of the new one being born. They sense this shift in you, and it creates cognitive dissonance they can't resolve. Their old formulas don't work on you. Their manipulation tactics fall flat. Their attempts to categorize you fail. You operate outside their behavioral algorithms. When they expect you to zig, you've already zagged in dimensions they can't perceive. When they prepare for your anger, you respond with silence that speaks louder than rage. When they anticipate your revenge, you demonstrate indifference that destroys their relevance. You're not playing their game. You're revealing that their game was always an illusion. What terrifies them most is realizing you saw through them from the beginning. Every performance they gave, thinking you were the audience, you were actually the critic taking notes. Every lie they sold, believing you were buying, you were documenting for future reference. Every mask they wore, assuming you couldn't see past it, you were reading the face beneath and the fear behind that face. The protection around you that baffles them isn't luck or favoritism, it's alignment with laws they've been breaking. You're moving in harmony with forces they're fighting against. While they exhaust themselves swimming upstream, you've learned to ride currents they can't feel. This is why opportunities find you while they chase them, why doors open for you that remain locked for them, why timing works in your favor, while they're always a step behind or ahead of where they need to be. Your knowing includes things that haven't happened yet, not because you're prophetic, but because you're tuned to probabilities and patterns they're too distracted to notice. You feel the future pressing against the present, showing you its shape before it solidifies into events. This is why you're never surprised when things unfold exactly as you felt they would. You're not predicting, you're perceiving what's already in motion in higher dimensions. The weight of carrying this knowing has been heavy, but notice how you've grown stronger under pressure. Where others would have cracked, you've crystallized. Where others would have broken, you've become unbreakable. Every burden you've carried has increased your capacity. Every truth you've faced has expanded your ability to hold more truth. You're not tired from the weight. You're tired from restraining your full power to make others comfortable. But that restraint is ending. The cosmic conditions have shifted. The time for hiding your light to protect others from their own shadows is over. The universe is calling for full activation, complete embodiment, total ownership of what you are. And those who have been talking about you are about to understand why their intuition was warning them all along. They thought they were gossiping, they were prophesying. Every whisper about your strangeness was actually recognition of your significance. Every theory about what you're hiding was actually admission of what they're lacking. Every conversation trying to figure you out was really the universe using their mouths to announce your arrival. You carry codes for collective evolution, blueprints for humanity's next chapter, keys to doors that need to open for everyone's survival. This is why your presence feels so important to them, even when they can't articulate why. Their souls recognize you as a way shower, even while their egos resist the direction you're pointing. You're not just ahead of them, you're ahead of the timeline they're stuck in. The spiritual technology you operate with is generations ahead of current consciousness. You're not better than them. You're simply further along a path everyone will eventually have to walk. Your presence in their life is a preview of their own future evolution, and some part of them knows this. That's why they can't stop talking about you. They're trying to understand their own destiny by decoding your present. When they gather to discuss your strange ways, what they're really doing is comparing notes on their own awakening symptoms. Your presence triggers remembrance in them of who they were before the world taught them to forget. You're a walking reminder that the limitations they've accepted aren't laws, they're suggestions, and every time you break one of their rules by simply being yourself, you prove their entire reality is negotiable. The truth you carry isn't just personal, it's planetary. You're not holding secrets from humanity, you're holding space for humanity to remember its own secrets, and every conversation about you brings the collective one step closer to that remembrance. Your knowing isn't meant to separate you, it's meant to activate the knowing in others. Your silence isn't withholding, it's allowing others to hear their own truth in the space you create. What they don't realize yet is that their obsession with you is actually their soul's recognition of what they could become. Every whispered conversation about your abilities is really a lament for their own abandoned potential. They see in you the version of themselves that chose courage over comfort, truth over acceptance, growth over stagnation. Your existence is a walking reminder of choices they didn't make, risks they didn't take, transformations they didn't pursue. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing to put yourself to the test. If you're still here, that means something. But talk is cheap. Real chosen ones take action. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve divine justice. You put on the headphones, press play and watch your enemies choke on the rope their own lies created. If you're done consuming and ready to prove you're chosen, start your Destiny Engine for $1 today, join the Obsidian Inner Order live checks, and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. The cosmic humor in all of this is that they think they're trying to figure you out, but you're actually helping them figure themselves out. Your knowing isn't separate from theirs, it's just more awakened, more acknowledged, more embodied. Every time they talk about you, they're actually talking themselves closer to their own awakening. Every whisper about your knowledge is their soul trying to remember its own wisdom. The intensity of their focus on you right now isn't accidental, it's orchestrated. The universe is using you as a catalyst for mass awakening. Whether they're ready or not, your presence forces them to question everything they thought was solid. Your knowing destabilizes their false foundations. Your silence speaks truths. Their noise tries to drown out. You're not trying to change them. Your existence itself is the change agent they can't escape. But understand this final truth. Their whispers are about to become shouts. Their suspicions are about to become confirmations. The knowing you've been carrying in silence is about to become undeniable, not because you'll announce it, but because reality itself is about to prove everything you've been sensing. The storms you felt coming are forming. The shifts you knew were inevitable are beginning. The revelations you've been preparing for are about to break through. And when it all unfolds exactly as you knew it would, when your quiet knowing becomes loud reality, when everything you never said out loud becomes impossible to ignore, they'll finally understand why they couldn't stop talking about you. You weren't holding secrets. You were holding tomorrow's headlines. You weren't being mysterious. You were being patient. You weren't withholding truth. You were waiting for the perfect moment for truth to reveal itself. So let them talk. Let them whisper about what you know, what you see, what you carry, that they can't understand. Their conversations about you are actually the universe preparing them for what's coming. Every discussion about your strangeness is preparation for the strange new world emerging. Every theory about your knowing is actually preparation for the knowing they'll need to survive what's ahead. You were never the mystery they were trying to solve. You were the answer to questions they haven't learned to ask yet. And now, as the old world crumbles and the new one emerges, as masks fall and truth rises, as everything hidden becomes visible, they'll understand why people couldn't stop talking about you. Because you were never just a person they were discussing. You were a frequency they were feeling, a truth they were sensing, a future they were glimpsing. And that future has arrived. The knowing you carried in silence is about to become the wisdom everyone needs to hear. The truths you saw while they slept are about to become the reality they can't escape. And you, chosen one, standing in your full power, no longer hiding your light, no longer shrinking your knowing, are about to show them why the universe chose you for this moment. Because people couldn't stop talking about you, and now they're about to understand why. The silence you kept wasn't weakness, it was strength building. The knowledge you held wasn't secret, it was sacred timing. And now in this moment, as everything shifts and truth emerges, you stand as living proof that chosen ones don't just know more than they say. They know exactly when to let their knowing change the world. The whispers about you were just the beginning. The real conversation is about to start. And you're not just part of it, you are it. You are the walking revelation they've been fearing and needing in equal measure. You are the truth that ends their lies. You are the light that exposes their shadows. You are the knowing that destroys their ignorance. And they can't stop talking about you because deep down in the parts of themselves they don't visit, they know you're showing them what they could have been, what they still could be if they found the courage you embody. Tossed what awaits them if they stop running from the transformation you've already survived. This is your moment, chosen one. Not to prove them wrong, but to prove the universe right. Right for choosing you, right for trusting you with this knowing, right for believing you could carry this weight and transform it into wings. The whispers will continue, but now you understand why. They're not talking about you. They're talking about the future walking among them in human form, and that future